What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the new time, the new day, Sunday at 10 p.m. There is a new Batman book coming out. Number 1, launching later on this year. Tom McFarlane Productions is putting out The Curse for Sherlee Johnson. Marvel hates the X-Men, and Mark Hamill loses his pants. We're going to have some fun tonight. Let's get into it tonight on the Ronin Joe Show. Let's go. Yeah, here we go. The Ronin Joe Show is live Sunday. I'm sorry if that's a little jarring for everybody that was out there getting used to the Thursday nights, which I was. I was liking it. But here we are. Sunday seemed good. Hot Stuff is back. Sean is back. And we are rocking and rolling as usual. I'm ready to go here, though. Let's say hey to everybody. YouTube chat. Here on the Steadfast was number 1. In the chat and in my heart. I love you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Mark Penguin. There you are. Mark Penguin is number 2. Coming in. Love it. Great to see you here. Chauncey Blakey. Hail all. Hail to you. Twisted Dreams is in the house. Dennis Kelly as well. Mr. Rick Sela is here. Love it. Doc Bacon. How you doing, man? We got Pizza. Conto Hair. One of my favorite names. Absolutely. Love it. YSA, amazing artists. As always, in the chat. That's where they are. They're here. Yo, Paul Art. What's going on, brother? Great to see you. The Time Scales is in the house from San Francisco. Love me some new live Joe. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Keith Ward, Cosmic Studios. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. All right, let's see. Who we got? Oh, jamming out. Sorry, man. Oh, this rocks out, you know? Telling you, I can get into that. All right, everybody, let people know we're live. Going to other people's DMs. Drop the link if you're a mod. Let them know it's okay because I said so. It's the Ronin Joe Show. Let's go. Let's jump into this. All right. We're going to jump into this. We only have an hour and a half before, hour and 15 minutes before the Gooch at Diabolical Studios. Was a late night with the Gooch and friends. Launches off here and takes the show into the night and doing what they do over on that show. So yes, thank you for joining me on this Sunday night. New night time going forward. We'll see how this goes. But again, like I said, Sean's back. We wanted to start doing Otten Stuff again. We got a lot of cool plans for Otten Stuff. So that's going to be moving back to Thursdays, taking the 8 o'clock time slot that Ronin Joe was doing. Spawn Review is still at 9 p.m. on Mondays, and Appreciating Comic Book Art Live will probably be coming back sometime in the near future. We'll be going right after the Spawn Review on Mondays as well, keeping that schedule as we go forward. In the meantime, we do have members in the chat, and because our members are here, and because I love you so very, very much.
What are you doing up?
Oh my God! I'm sorry! I can't stop coming! I'm sorry! Oh, it feels so good!
That is to all my members. Duck Bacon, Rick Saylor, Chauncey Blakey. If I missed anybody in there, I do apologize. I would run that 10 times in a row if I could, but, you know, I get it. Also, I want to give a shout out to Twisted Dreams, who is always in the chat, almost every show. And I appreciate you, brother. And this is for you.
Subject's notes. The extraction theory papers. Am I the only one who did the read?
I need to make some videos for some of the other guys like Mark Penguin, Hail the Lore. Guys are in here all the time. Rick Saylor. You guys really carry the show. Make it fun. Make it worth streaming, because otherwise I'd be streaming to nobody. And, you know, I do like the sound of my own voice. I would literally sit here and just do a recording of myself and just listen to it over and over again. And I'd just be like, that's fine, you know, because vanity, ego knows no bounds when it comes to me. Like, I'm just like, damn, like I could listen to myself talk and, you know, I agree with myself. So why wouldn't I not, you know? Michael Bancroft is in the chat. What is going on, brother? How's it going? It's been an interesting week for you and me. Has it not? It has. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. I'm picturing Joe naked. Too soon? It is never too soon to picture me naked. Never. Never. You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. No, thanks to you for the support. Being in the chat like you always are. No, I really appreciate it. You guys, make doing this fun. This show. This getting into this show where I'm just kind of talking and shooting the shit with you guys. It's fun. I didn't really ever envision myself doing a show where it's just me talking to the chat, much like this man here does on a daily basis and has for years, making it look easy, striving to be like people. Bancroft is my idol. Good to see all you guys. All right. I wanted to jump into a couple of things real quick. Hopefully some fun things, things are going to make you laugh a little bit before we jump into some of the articles that I would like to get into. I don't know if you guys saw this. Again, this is a show that I do like week to week. So anything that happens between shows, that's the news I'm going to cover. So it might be 4 days old, might be a day old, might have happened today. Who knows? But I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Did anybody see Mark Hamill's pants falling down? Whatever award show he's at, or I don't even know what it is. Whatever. I don't know, whatever that is. But he's giving this speech. I don't know, too loud. I don't even know if you guys can hear the audio. Let me know if you can hear the audio. Sometimes it doesn't play when I share it, but check this out.
So what makes us love cinema so much that we're all gathered here to celebrate
tonight? Yeah, get into it.
It's that films create worlds so
everything's going good. Everything's going. Now they're gone. How does that happen?
They create
How does that happen?
Landscapes that feel alive, whether they're set here in London or anywhere.
I gotta.
So what makes us love cinema so much that we're all
I gotta say, like, he does a good job of keeping his composure. You gotta imagine if this live TV, I don't know how many people were in the audience, and your pants start falling around your ankles. Damn, that's embarrassing. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy though. I laughed so hard when I saw that. That's just so good. Oh man, I could watch that again and again. That was fun. Let me know if you saw the audio on that, but I had to cover that. I was like, this might be a few days old, but we're gonna get into that because that is just too damn funny. And I want you to laugh the way I am laughing. Obviously, the belt buckle left with the two hands. Obviously, the belt buckle left with a hand too. Absolutely. There has to be a forced joke in there somewhere. You would think so. If I was a little bit more clever, I would have had one in there for you guys. Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one. I should have, that's an obvious right there. Damn it. Unprofessional. Carbon Dioxide's in the house, a member of the channel. Great to see you, brother.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I can't stop coming. I'm sorry. Oh, it feels so good.
And that's disgusting. I don't want to think about that, but that's probably what happened. Absolutely. Hell Lord's in the house. His pants were just loose. They completely dropped while he was still standing. I don't see how that happens. I wear belts. Why wear a belt if it's not going to keep your pants up? I don't get it. You know what? I've got a rim shot there. That's a good one. Let's do that. Yeah. Beautiful. That's no moon. Yeah, thank God. Rick Siller says his pants fell down like his career. Oh, burn. That is a good one. You guys are killing it with that. Let's go. That's a Sith pantsing. The Gooch is in the house. He says, yo, what's up, everybody? What's up with you, brother? Don't forget that we are going to be raiding in, if I can find it. I was looking for your stream earlier, Jay, and I could not find. Oh, there it is. I'm an idiot. It's right in front of me. All right. We're going to be raiding into Jay's show right about, 11:15 or so when he starts. Late night with the Gooch and friends. So if you're here for that, stick in the chat. You'll go right to that show. It's a fun show. Awesome panel. I was able to go on there last week. I had a really good time. So I appreciate you being in the chat. And thank you for having me on, brother. The Force ghost of his father pants. Oh, that's probably what happened. That is probably Luke Skywalker defeated by gravity. Oh my God, that's good. You guys are awesome. That's awesome. No, see, like I said, I like to start the show off lighthearted if I can. Find something funny to talk about. You chat. You guys are great. I did see this. I thought this was pretty cool. If you guys watched The Penguin last year when it debuted, you know that I thought it was an amazing show. It was a great show. The acting was fantastic. I thought Colin Farrell did a fantastic job. And I guess I just saw right before I went live that he wins Best Actor in a Limited Series at the SAG Awards. So shout out to him. Congratulations to Colin Farrell. I'm really looking forward to season 2. I think we did man, I've done so many streams, I can't remember. But I thought we did a Penguin Talk stream or Penguin Review stream when that show ended. I think Gooch was on it. I can't remember. Did I host it? Did he host it? Yeah. I'm getting old. I can't remember these things, but I thought that was pretty cool. So shout out to him. Well deserved. Dacking, huh? That's what I love about Australians. I get to learn all this new verbiage that I've never heard before. I'm gonna try to keep that in mind. Dacking. I like that. Joe Sonic is one of the cool kids. Like and subscribe. Fun. Oh yeah. Fun stuff here. Thank you, brother. I will take that. I'm not above saying that I am one of the cool kids. I'll definitely take that title. So yes, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share it out wherever you're watching, whether it's X, whether it's YouTube. Please find your way over to the YouTube channel at some point if you can. Hit the like button, subscribe, help the channel grow. I would appreciate it. I met Angel Medina, nicest dude ever. So damn cool. I was blown away seeing all of his original Spawn pages. That, my friend, is awesome. I know Mark Penguin, who was in the chat earlier, sent me some pictures. You guys must have gone to the same con. He was saying the same thing too, that he met Angel Medina, I think got some sketches or whatever, sharing some art with me, and that's awesome, man. I never met the guy. I was at a con where he was at, and for some reason I forgot to go to his table. I wanted to, like, the entire time, like that was a point that I was going to try to do, and I forgot to do it. So it sucks. So hopefully one day I'll get to meet him. I'd love to see some of his original art up close. Dennis Kelly's in the house. Says, "Hail Joe, hail all. Crap, I'm late. Hope all is well with everyone." It is. Oh, you met him today. Okay, nice. Angel Medina loves to talk. The Gooch would know. Yeah, he went to the Spawn, what was that, Spawn Con last year, whatever it was called. I hope they do that again. I want to go to one of those. I feel like I missed out. Great Lakes Comic Con. Oh, nice. Okay, nice. I got to check that out. Angel definitely influenced my work. Nice, man. His work is really cool. It's got that kind of like cartoony, exaggerated style to his stuff. Kind of Greg Capullo and Tom McFarlane-esque, but then kind of like turned up, and the cartooniness. He did some really cool foreshortening poses that he would do, sometimes just kind of really wonky stuff, but to the point where it worked. It was really good. I enjoyed his stuff. Unfortunately, I did not stick around when he took over the Spawn title, as I was kind of in a point where I was getting out of comics at the time. So I've gone back and looked at a lot of his work from issues 100 to I can't remember how long, 80s, something like that. I can't remember how long he stayed on the book, 150. So yeah. Dude, that just made my day right there. Hell yeah. I live to dream, right? Yeah, a Reaper Destroyer Con 2030. Let's make it happen. Let's go. I love it. Dude, thank you. That's badass. How many people out there are fans of horror movies? Specifically, fans of Scream. Now, I bring this up because I'm a really big Scream fan. Scream 7 is being filmed right now. It might be actually done filmed. I'm not sure. Coming out this year. Love that series. Been a fan of it ever since it came out in, 96, 97-ish. Wes Craven coming and bringing back the whole slasher crave. Basically, rejuvenated the entire scene, entire genre of slasher movies in the 90s. And here we are, still going. Wes Craven, unfortunately, has passed. And, that is what it is. But the legacy of him lives on. So what's cool about this movie is that the original writer, Kevin Williamson, is actually directing this movie. Now, I've never seen anything that he's actually directed, so I don't know if he's good or not. But I'm looking forward to it. You're bringing back a lot of the legacy characters, actors. Nev Campbell's coming back. Some of the big news that they're talking about is, what is his name? Skeet Ulrich, and so you had Billy Loomis, and you had Stumacher. Who was Stumacher? Somebody in the chat. I had a brain fart. Let me know. Who's Stumacher? Ghostface going to be using ARP. Hey, that would be a way to go. But I thought this was kind of cool. So a lot of the old killers are the actors are coming back, and people started speculating, well, what does that mean? We're going to have a flashback sequence showing the murder of Marine Prescott, or is it going to be something else? I had speculated that Stu was going to be more of like a nightmare sequence. That Sydney was going to go through the sequence of seeing all these killers that she had dispatched in the past, and that they were going to be haunting her dreams, much like she went through with her mom's kind of ghost apparition in the third movie that they did. Then I see something like this where it says Scream 7 reportedly will have AI deepfake technology. Past killers play a significant role in the plot. And also, Stumacher is going to have more than a cameo role. His character would actually have a bigger role in the movie. But I was like, you know what? What an awesome idea. Scream has always been one of those movies that really heavily played on the meta aspect of pop culture, bringing that into the movies itself. And that was one of it stays with the time, stays with the technology. So it makes a lot of sense. What is one of those things we've been talking about where with the deep fakes becoming so good. I remember like 2 years ago when the Mandalorian end of season 2 when they had the Luke Skywalker, even though that wasn't the greatest, right? It was really the scene was great, but the deep fake was okay, or whatever technology they use. People start talking about deep fakes. Like it becomes so big, you're like, what if you can actually frame somebody using somebody else's face on video or whatever, and that conversation happened for a while. It's like, if they don't put a limit on the deep fake or the AI stuff, we could see some of that stuff in real life. Shit, countries could go to war because you could see one country get bombed, and all of a sudden, here's the president of a country taking credit for it, even though it's not them because it's all deep fake. So I'm looking at this and the whole idea of the deep fake aspect of this movie, where now these past killers have been cast to come back, can actually play a role, and they're actually being deep faked by the actual killer in the movie. I think it's a really cool concept. I mean, what do you guys think? Because I'm going to go see this movie anyway. I love the Scream series, but for concept wise, bringing AI and deep fake into the actual plot of the movie, I think is a brilliant move by Kevin Williamson. I know he's not the one that wrote the screenplay for this, but he's directing it and he's got a lot to do with it. So I think it's awesome. We need some new slasher characters. We do. I know a lot of people like the Terrorizer, and I just think that's glorified just gore porn. Not much substance to it. The thing I like about Scream movies is yes, it's a slasher movie. You don't have to have that deep of a story when it comes to slashers, but it's more than just how can we kill this person in an interesting or gory way. Scream has gore in it, but it's never been about the gore. It's been about the meta aspect of the films. How does the killer stalk the victims? It's I don't know. It's a lot more smartly written than something like the Terrorizer. And I'm sorry if I'm upsetting Terrorizer fans out there. I know there's quite a bit of you, and that's cool. You do what you do. Bring back Jamie Kennedy, dude. Now they have not announced that he's coming back, but that would be a character you'd think that they would bring back. But again, if it's something that the killer's using to fuck with Sydney, in this storyline to kind of take her on this journey or take her wherever he wants her to go, probably just sticking with the fact that she has to be faced again with these killers that she has put down into the ground over the last 20 some odd years, right? Let's see, Medina or Capullo. I'm still gonna go with Capullo. Then I go to Medina's. Yeah. They use that deep fake sheet and AI to introduce chips to identify people. Yeah. True, I'm not a fan of just gore porn within itself. I just need a good story. Yeah, it doesn't have to, not like Scream. Scream has a deep story, but it's an entertaining story. They did things in '96 to kind of break new ground with the way that they approached horror movies, using the rules of horror movies, all the tropes and everything to survive an actual horror movie. Like, I thought that was really smart at the time. And every decade going into the 2000s and now in the 2020s, or into the 10s and the 2020s, they did different things to kind of keep up. I actually thought Scream 4 was really good. Probably what Scream 3 should have been. And I'm not a big fan of Scream 3. Scream 1 was definitely a trendsetter. Scary movie was with a twist. They focused on scaring you instead of disgusting you. Yeah, and see, that's what I like. I don't mind the gore. The older I get, though, I enjoy the entertainment of the the thrill of the chase, right? More than just like, oh, look, there's a bunch of guts, or how can you torture this character, torture that character? What was it, the early 2000s where they really got into the gore porn with Saw and Hostel? And not that those movies are bad or anything. It was part of the genre. It's taken off, but there's only so much of that you can really watch before it's just like, okay, I get it. All you're really doing is killing to kill, killing to kill. If you are keeping track of Daredevil, which I am, which by the way, once this comes out, I think Sean and I over at Ott and stuff, we're going to do a segment of the show. We will review the week's episode. So it'll be kind of like a mini Daredevil review on Ott and stuff on Thursdays at 8 when we do it. But they've revealed the Bullseye Daredevil, first shot of Bullseye and Daredevil. What are your thoughts? I mean, if you guys are even interested in this, I'm really interested in your thoughts are, because I was really hoping that they were going to give us a little bit more of a comic book accurate Bullseye. The Daredevil costume is great. The Punisher looks great, especially now that he's got the skull on his chest and they're keeping it that way. Who else you got in there? White Leopard. There's Muse. A lot of these characters look great, and then so I'm expecting at this point, but like, where's the Bullseye costume? Classic, Frank Miller looking costume, Bullseye on his head, and this is what they review, or you get this from the trailer, but this pops up, and I'm just like, I don't know. This was the first time I've been disappointed with Daredevil Born Again and everything they've revealed so far. For the most part, I've been pretty excited, ready to get going on all this. And then I see this, I'm just like, if this is the first iteration and then he gets his costume, he goes to the costume maker. I can't remember what that character's name was, if they ever bring that character back from the Netflix series. And then he goes and gets a proper costume at the end of the season to play a bigger role in season 2 and actually look like Bullseye. I am down. But if they're going to keep him like this, I think it's underutilized and it's a little bit, it's a lot disappointing, I got to say. I seen a deal. They said Scream was inspired by Gainesville Ripper. I know there's some rumors when it came to the Scream movie about different things that Kevin Williamson had seen when he was writing the script. Part of it came from, I think that if I'm thinking of the same thing, I do believe it was that. But I think there was also another story that he took a few different things and he put them into one and inspired him to do the entire story. But one of it had to do from like serial killers that made phone calls to their victims beforehand. I'll have to look into that, Dennis. But I do believe you're probably right on that. Yeah, this is lazy to me. And again, it's the first time I've been disappointed. Like, so far, I've been very, very excited. This has been something that I'm really looking forward to when it comes to these TV series. Even though people are really down on Marvel as far as the TV series stuff goes, and I get it, a lot of them have been bad, but I feel like there's a lot of hope for Daredevil. And then I see something like this, I'm just like, but why? You could have done something so much better. And imagine if our first shot of Bullseye was him in that black costume, the white bullseye on his head, or the black costume, white bullseye on his head, and we get a classic look. Like how much cooler would that have been? So, this doesn't put me out on the movie by any means, but it's definitely disappointing. I just want to cover that real quick because that's just, the first kind of negative thing I'm going to say about this. And, oh well. All right. Spawn fans out there. I do a show called The Spawn Review. We do this on Monday at 9 p.m. I do it with the Gooch. I do it with Zach. I do it with Sean. I do it with Paul from Project Niosis, which I always pronounce that book wrong, but check it out. It's a great book. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. is the Spawn Review. By the way, check it out. We've got Brett motherfucking Booth, the artist of Spawn, coming on the show to have an interview. It's going to be a fun time. Do not miss it. I'm telling you right now, do not miss it. But I'm looking out for every kind of news I can look out, and I see some Spawn news popping up, and I want to cover it. Without a proper costume, he's just some sort of vigilante. Yeah, that's 100%, Rick. 100%. They should get Daredevil a dark, gritty animation. Dude, I'm 100% down with that. I think that would be amazing. I think they need to have more of that kind of stuff. I just don't see Marvel, Disney going in that direction. They've kind of been more cinematic. DC has really done a lot more of those animated movies and series. Not all of them great. When it started out, there was some really good stuff, but they've kind of got lazy with some of the shit that DC has done over the last, I don't know, 10 years. I haven't enjoyed as much, but I would be down if it was done right. It would be really good. So there's a book that I've been waiting to come out, and I believe this book used to be titled No Home Here. I almost fucked it up. No Home Here. And so I was surprised to see that they changed the name to The Curse of Shirley Johnson, which is fine. That works too. I just, for some reason, I like the No Home Here was a better storyline to me, or a better title. It sounded better, right? But I saw this and a little bit of a rundown. I'm getting excited for this book. If you guys haven't been following the Spawn review, definitely do that. But we talk a little bit about this. This is one of the books I can't wait to get out so we can start reviewing it on Spawn. Because of the creative team and because of the story behind it, I think has potential to be really, really good. And if you follow the show, the Spawn review, you know that there are, besides Spawn, King Spawn, and Gunslinger, those are the top 3 titles, we believe. Once you get past those top 3 titles, the rest of the titles, they kind of start dipping in quality, dipping in story, and they're not as entertaining for us, right? So I'm waiting for another title to come in there and to be on the same level, right, as the rest of the books. So it says, Todd McFarlane Productions will unveil a bold new character in the Spawn universe with the launch of the chilling new series, The Curse of Shirley Johnson, by Daniel Enriquez and Jonathan Galapian, this May from Image Comics. This double-length, emotionally charged, visually striking premiere will mark Enriquez's writing debut and Galapian's first ever interiors. Galapian reminds me a lot of Capullo. He's not a ripoff, obviously. I mean, he inked him for years. I mean, Galapian is traditionally an inker, even though I think he originally tried to break in as an artist. So it's good to see that he's finally getting to live his dream as being a comic book artist. But this book definitely visually is going to have like a Capullo-esque feel, which is I think is another reason why I'm so excited about it. It'll be brought to life with the stunning color work of industry veteran FCO and take readers into unknown corners of the Spawn universe. At the heart of the new saga is Shirley Johnson. And this is where I'm talking about where it could be really cool. If you're Spawn fans out there, you know Spawn lore, you know Spawn history. A 7-year-old whose death at the hands of the notorious serial killer Billy Kincaid rocked readers back in Spawn number 5 and set off a chain of unforeseen consequences. Now Shirley is reborn, transformed, and armed with a mysterious power, yet still struggles with the loss of her previous life. She must navigate a brutal, unforgiving world alongside the anemic stranger as she wrestles with lingering pain and the pressure of a newfound purpose and destiny. The highly collectible Spawn number 5, which was the issue of Billy Kincaid. If you guys remember when this issue came out, I was still fairly young, but this was one of those issues where Todd McFarlane really pushed the envelope and covered some very mature storylines in Spawn, where it was, you know, the child murder, and he had that one panel where Billy Kincaid is taking the fingers of the kids that he killed, and he's gluing them onto the wall. And I remember, I think his wife, Todd McFarlane's wife at the time, was the editor of Spawn, and she quit being the editor over that scene because she thought it was disgusting. She didn't like it. And so it was a really controversial thing at the time. I hope they don't do Bullseye or Daredevil's costume like they did centuries. Yeah, that's another. Don't get me started on that. Growing up with Spawn, I always felt there was more to Shirley Johnson's story, Enriquez said. As I started pulling on the threads left behind, her journey just exploded beyond even my own expectations. Collaborating with my longtime friend and co-creator Jonathan Galapian, a true artistic powerhouse, has been incredibly rewarding. Together, we crafted our new corner in the Spawn universe, and with Todd McFarlane's full support, we are pushing it to the limit. I hope everyone enjoys this ever-expanding journey with us. Just keeps getting wilder. Stepping into the sequential storytelling, representing an exciting opportunity to leave a mark on the Spawn universe, Galapian added, I just want to draw cool shit. And that is my mentality 100%. I love seeing artists talk like that because we need more of that. We talk about it on Art and stuff. We talk about anytime stuff comes up on this channel. People live in a safe zone when it comes to the art today. They don't want to push and break boundaries like they did, which made it so great in the late 80s throughout the 90s. People were breaking those barriers, doing stuff because it was cool, pushing the limits. And so I love hearing an artist like this say that line. I just want to draw cool shit. This book is giving me the opportunity to do just that. The new standalone series offers an accessible entry point for new readers while also rewarding longtime fans with unexpected appearances and deep connections to the larger Spawn universe. With its intense storytelling and focus on the cost of heroism, The Curse of Shirley Johnson is set to be a must-read for anyone ready to explore the dark corners of the Spawn universe. Now, Spawn usually is typically $2.99, but this is going to be a 48-page book at $5.99. Not a bad price. I still think that's pretty good. If you guys check out this gallery here, obviously we saw the cover, which again, this is just a badass. I'm assuming this is the Stranger. And then Shirley Johnson here, if you notice, has the kind of violator clown face on her, or face paint on her. So it's gonna be really interesting to see where her powers come from. It's a really cool idea. One of the ideas I think in the new Spawn universe has actually been kind of more original in its aspect, and I think this has staying power. I think this book actually has staying power. Is going to do very, very well. You get a cool cover here by McFarlane himself. I love Billy. That's kind of funny. I like that. This axe. So cool character design. You know, it's going to be interesting how they pull off an evil 7-year-old, because I'm assuming that she's still kind of 7, like she perpetually stayed that age after she was murdered. And if you guys, here's a little Easter egg for you. If you guys remember Spawn issue 5, I believe there's a panel where he's wearing this like blonde wig with pigtails, which was assuming to be her scalp after he killed her. And so that's kind of where this all spawned. So, pun intended, spawned from. So I think that's really cool. I think it's gonna be great. Black and white shot there. I'm assuming those are gonna be covers. And here's some interior art again, guys. Besides Brett motherfucking Booth, who will be on the show tomorrow at 9 p.m. There hasn't been an artist that's really done Spawn work since Greg Capullo that I've been excited about, besides Brett, as we talked about. I see this stuff and I'm like, this is peak Capullo, but new, right? So it's got that feel. It's got that Capullo feel, the Angel Medina feel, and now Galapian is bringing his own kind of style, but it's got familiar beats of those two artists. And I gotta say, man, this looks fantastic. Probably one of the best looking Spawn books besides the main book that Brett is doing. So I highly recommend that you guys go out and get this in May when it drops. When you do, visit the Spawn review, because we will be going over this in great detail. And I think it's going to be great. So I will be extremely disappointed if we get on that first show and we're just like, I didn't like it. But I love it so far. Nothing that I'm seeing preview wise has turned me off to this book at all. It's made me even more excited. That is just another badass. I'm assuming that's going to be a cover as well, or a splash page, whatever. But just, shout out, go check out this book, and then make sure you hit the Spawn review when we review that. Yes, definitely do that. Definitely do that. I think it's going to be a great book. I know it's a segment more for the Spawn comic book lovers out there, but I just wanted to touch on that, especially with the crossover shows that I have going on. Yes. Galapio Culidina. Yes. Sheldon Martin. Yeah. Thank you for tripping me up on that. Member of the channel in the house.
What are you doing up? Oh my God! I'm sorry! I can't stop coming! I'm sorry! Oh, it feels so good!
Thank you, all my members, for coming tonight and spending some time with me in the chat. The Core 20s in the house. I appreciate you guys. Wherever you're watching, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you're watching this live, if you're watching this later, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of the content. Let me know what you think of the stories that we are covering in this show as well. Yeah, I love that. A lot of people love that clip. It doesn't get old. I'll try not to abuse it, but it doesn't get old. So check it out. It's one of the biggest things I'm anticipating. All right. Yeah, we're doing good on time. There is a new Batman book coming out. Now, at first, I was just like, do we need another Batman book? Do we need another rebooted Batman book? Can they never stick with anything for, I come from an era where you just ran a title forever, unless it got canceled. But you ran it and you kept on, you getting up into the 500s, 600, 800s, up to 1,000. That's cool. I like that because it shows a history with books. But nowadays, like, they always got to do the reboots. They got to do the reboots. They got to get new issue ones out there. They want to drive up sales and all this kind of stuff. I get the mentality and shit. But ever since we had like the new 52, it's just like it's gotten old, right? New 52 Rebirth. There was something else in there, I think, where they did a reboot. And so, they're rebooting Batman. And initially I'd be like, I don't know, okay. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs another Batman book. However, once I started looking at the art and the artists, because we got Jorge Jimenez, if I pronounced that correctly. I'm sure I probably messed that up. But as soon as I saw his name attached to it, I was like, okay, I'm intrigued, and you got me on board. Just because I like his art, he did a fantastic run on the main Batman title for a long time. So if he's on board, I'm gonna check it out. The writer, Matt Fraction, not as excited about personally, but I do love this design. And this is gonna sound funny because I'm somebody that has really pushed back on the old blue and gray design. I always didn't think that was intimidating. I didn't think it was the greatest design. It was one of the longest running Batman designs, color schemes that they went with, right? But Jimenez does a really good job of kind of updating this and making it look cool. So I'm like, okay, I can overlook the fact that it's blue and gray. In fact, it's actually kind of growing on me because I much I much prefer the gray and the black that they've been doing since Capullo took over the new 52, maybe a little bit before that. I think it just looks better on Batman, makes him more intimidating. But this is looking good so far. So, all right, let's jump into it. Brand new Batman book. DC, today, surprise announced a new Batman #1 book launching in September by creative team Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez, which is a plus. Now, get me to read this book, at least check it out for sure. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Batman. It was the first comic I ever read, said Fraction. Jorge and I have a very superhero forward kind of take on Batman. We've got a new Batmobile, we've got a new costume, we've got new characters, and we've got a lot of old ones too, good and bad. All the stuff that makes Batman the coolest character in comics. We want to celebrate it all. Now, I do like hearing him say that. And I hope that he actually understands the character. Now, I haven't read a ton of Matt's stuff. So somebody might be in the chat or in the comments later saying, dude, he wrote some of the best Batman books. Okay, cool, great. And I'll look forward to that. But I do like hearing this. If you actually know who Batman is and you want to celebrate all of the stuff that makes him the cool character he is, including the Rogues Gallery, and introduce some new characters, I'm down for. I'm giving this a chance. As a DC artist, I have to say that this is something I've always dreamed of. And getting to do it alongside someone as amazing and talented as Matt is just incredible for me, said Jimenez. As for my work on Batman, the artistic side, I've poured years of hard work into this series. Over time, I've had to adapt to different styles and paces alongside James and Chip, learning and enjoying every step of the way. I've explored Gotham City in the multiple angles, but more importantly, I've gradually built up more and more artistic tools that have led to the current synthesis of my style. I can't speak. I also can't read. DC's new Batman #1 becomes only the fourth renumbering of the DC Batman comic series in the title of 85 years. Okay, so they've done it 4 times. I thought they did it more, so that's my bad. 4th time in the 85-year history. Under Fraction and Jimenez, the colors by Tomeo Moray and lettering by Clayton Cowles, Batman will have a new blue and gray costume, a new Batmobile, and the series will usher in a new look for the city. I can't blow these up. That sucks. They got some examples here from this article of the art. And again, like I said, I'm sold on the art. I dig it. I like the aesthetic, the way everything's looking right now. So far, I'm pretty excited. Some shots at the costume here. This is going to be good. I think it's going to be good. For the new, of course, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful on all this stuff. You're never going to see me sit here on this show and bullshit anybody about stuff. I'm not a negative person. Like, yeah, there are some things I don't like, and I'll tell you when I don't like stuff. But for the most part, I'm a hopeful person, right? I want things to be good. And so I'm really excited about this, and hopefully this becomes something that is really cool. Timescale says, Joe, I like the 2025 version of Wolfman Jack. Joe is like. Oh, I'm like. Oh, okay. Who's Wolfman Jack? This looks badass. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Brayfogle. Yes. You know, I met Brayfogle once years ago, obviously when he was still alive, back when I was in my early 20s. He was actually the first artist I ever showed my work to, the first person in general, professional, I ever showed my work to going to a convention. And he was beyond cool with me. Looked at my work, gave me tips, gave me his email. He said, hit me up anytime. I'd love to help you out as far as just like, got questions or stuff, send me new stuff, all that kind of stuff. So I got nothing but good things to say about Greg or Norm Breakfogle. I think he was a radio DJ back in the day. Okay. I'm DJ Wolfman. I will take it, whatever it is. I like compliments, So even though I don't know what you're talking about, I'll take it. Yeah, he was awesome, dude. Rest in peace. For this new chapter, we're creating a revamped aesthetic, bringing back Batman's blue suit in a definitive way. It's a small shift meant to feel both classic and fresh. And I do see that. It does have the classic look, but it does have a fresh feel to it. I don't know what I just knocked over there, but pick that up later. Subtly evolving while staying true to the original design we've used in recent years. At the same time, I'm working on Gotham City's visual identity, giving it a fresh approach that sets it apart from my previous takes. I'm aiming for a slight pop influence, something that subtly nods to classic stories while keeping the dark and ominous feel of the contemporary Batman. Part of the reason Batman has lasted as long and has resonated as loudly as he has as a character is. That's a mouthful. Part of the reason Batman has lasted as long and has resonated as loudly as he has as a character is that he's incredibly resilient, said Fraction. He can be all kinds of things to all different people, all at the same time, whether that's in the comic or animation or in the movies. For Jimenez, Morori, Cowles will be telling a series of connected but self-contained stories when they begin their run in September. Sucks that we have to wait till September. Every issue could be a new adventure, a new style, and a new challenge, but for the creative team to put up in front of Batman. More details on September's Batman #1 will be revealed soon. I like that it's self-contained. I think that's going to be great. Pulled out of the other titles. I think you can do more when you're telling self-contained stories. We don't have to worry about maybe some of the other titles crossing over, having to do big events. I'd like this. I've got a lot of hope for this. I think this is going to be good. Sure, I've been wrong before in the past. I'll be wrong again before it's all said and done. But I do think this is good. I would encourage people to go check that out if you can. I would probably do. I don't know if I'll do a review. I don't know if I have enough time to do everything. Yeah, I'm not old enough to know who Wolfman Jack is. Joe Cool. I remember Joe Cool, not Wolfman Jack. Wolfman Jack was an OG legend. He was an American Graffiti movie too, I think. Didn't see it. Sorry. Harpo's Henry, what's going on? Harpo's Heavy Metal Brother. Are you talking about the Harpo's in Detroit? In Detroit, Michigan? Did you play there? I guess I didn't know that. But good to see you, brother. Yeah, Harpo's was great. Played there a couple times. Played with Devil Driver there with my band. Hell of a show. Hell of a fun. They cut our set down to like 25 minutes. So I was really pissed. We played we were the band right before the band that played before Devil Driver. And the crowd was kicking. It was hot. Mosh pits. It was packed in there. And we went in there and just absolutely dominated, man. We were just killing it. And they cut our set short because the entire show, because they overbooked the show, as like they always do, to get the bigger acts on, ran long. So they're like, we got to hurry up and get the main act on. So you guys are going to start getting your time slot. It sucked, but it was a fun show. I enjoyed it. What is this crap? Get out of there. What we got? 10:50? Yeah, we're still doing pretty good. And we got about 25 minutes before the Gooch and Friends start. I saw a couple of people covering this, and I was like, yeah, I've seen other people talk about this. I don't know if I really want to get into this as much. This is the screen I should have been using the entire time. Damn it, unprofessional. Wolfman did an episode of Married with Children. I didn't really watch that show. I mean, I was kind of young when it first came out, but it was never one of those shows that really resonated with me. Christina Applegate, though, did. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm 10 minutes from Harpo's. Nice. Is it still there? I didn't know if that shut down or if it went into new ownership. I wasn't in really good condition when we were playing there. And the last time I played a show at Harpo's was 2011. I want to say. I think that was with Chimera. It was not a good show. No, they didn't bring anybody, which is surprising because Chimera was, it had a pretty decent following, but it was like a Wednesday night. Not too many people showed up. The band was cool though. They were cool. I figure I'll talk about this anyway. So when I said in the opening credits that Marvel hates the X-Men, that's just what they're showing. I don't see how you can think of anything other than that when you look at this. When you see the news of this, and this is from Bounding into Comics, it says Marvel Comics to completely wreck and reassemble mutant canon in an upcoming giant X-Men 50th anniversary event. Will rewrite Kamala Khan, I almost said Kamala Harris, Kamala Khan into classic storylines like Dark Phoenix and House of M. Just the title alone is enough for me to go and kick a puppy, It's a bad title. It brings no hope. Only anger is what I have to say about that. That's crap. That's awesome how my dog doesn't bark at rabbits, but she likes to eat their... What are you guys talking about? Oh, okay. Okay. You guys do you. I like it. It's still there, but another rap and cover band. I like Flint's Machine Shop, but nowadays Machine Shop was cool. Yeah, a lot of these old venues, I don't even know because I've been so disconnected from the metal or music scene for a while now. But a lot of the venues, yeah, Michigan venues. We did a lot of Grand Rapids shows. We ventured out to Detroit, Lansing, places like that. We played a lot in Grand Rapids, the Intersection, the Orbit Room when it was there, places like that. New Batman book, yeah. If you just missed that segment, the new Batman book by Jorge Jimenez is coming out in September. Definitely check it out. I think it looks really good. And welcome to the show, Dale A. Great to see you. We got Emma Wackass in the house. Joe can't wait. What? Let's see, Joe can't keep getting away with kicking these puppies. Don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody getting upset. Yeah, no, I get you on that. All right, so bad title gives me bad vibes right off the bat. And also, does anybody like Kamala Khan? I honestly don't see the popularity of the character. It's much like Captain Marvel, where they're trying to just push these characters that are not popular onto the audience. And they can't ever create anything on their own that is compelling or creating a following. So some writer somewhere gets a great idea to be like, why don't we go in retcon some really, really amazing stories and we'll give the star to this character that nobody gives a shit about. So, all right, let's just dive into it. Let's see what's up. Just when I felt like the publishers couldn't get any more creatively desperate than seriously reviving Gwen Stacy, Marvel Comics has announced that this summer they'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Giant Size X-Men #1 by throwing Kamala Khan into the time stream and having her canonically added into some of the more of the titular, I love that word because it's just, tit, team's most iconic moments. Set to be penned by Venom or Spider-Man Volume 1, which I actually did like that. I actually thought that was pretty good. So maybe this has No, I'm not going to talk myself into this shit. All right. Writer duo Colleen Kelly and Jackson Langzine with art from iconic Wolverine Volume 2 penciler Adam Kubert. Now, see, this pisses me off because I love Adam. I love the Kuberts. I love the art style. It makes me want to go out and support the book, and go buy the book and just, and I can't do it. I can't do it. There's no way. As much as I love Adam's work, and I love Adam. You guys watch Appreciating Comic Book Art Live. We did an entire stream looking at his Wolverine run, which I think was one of the best in history. And there were some amazing artists on Wolverine, like Mark Silvestri, who did a fantastic job. But I love Adam Kubert. I can't do it. I can't do it. They've been trying and failing to make her popular for the better part of a decade. I know, right? And this is just another attempt, right? I feel like this is just another attempt. And what they're going to do is they're going to mess up classic storylines and characters. And they're going to retcon shit going for the future with the character that nobody cares about. The Wrath of Khan. Yeah. Pretty much. So anyway, yeah, that's disappointing because I love Adam Kubert and I'm not going to get this book. So that's going to hurt my soul for not being able to support him. But I can't get this. I can't condone this. I can't support it. The upcoming and eponymously, is that a word? Never heard of it. I think that's fake news right there. Named Giant Size X-Men event will see the aforementioned Miss Marvel, her mutant identity revealed at the end of the Krakoa era. I like this. Krakoa sucked. Into the past and introduced to 4 pivotal moments across mutant history. The first emergence of Krakoa. Yeah. Krakoa. The Dark Phoenix Saga and the Age of Apocalypse. Messing with my Age of Apocalypse. Bullshit. And House of M. House of M was all right. I'm not as attached to it as I would some of these other. Dark Phoenix Saga. If Kayla was here, she would be ranting up a rage. Raging out a rant. She'd be furious. She'd be mad. But Age of Apocalypse, my God, man. That was one of my favorite 90s storylines. You're going to put this character in it. I don't get it. And again, Adam Kubert, love it, man. Love the art. Can't buy your book. As explained by Marvel Comics in an official press release, upon arriving in each of these time periods, the young heroine will not only be added to the respective story's canon narrative, but also uncover mysterious, long buried, and secrets that will define the future of Marvel Mutants. I'm gonna hopefully get over this cold at some point. This is what really worries me. This is going to define the future of the entire X-Men. It seems like I don't like it. Hopefully, we can also get her to be Xavier's mentor and the one responsible for creating Spider-Man. It's so obvious it seems retarded. Dude, they should do that. Cracko. I like it. Yeah, I love the Kuberts too, man. This makes me disappointed that I can't get this book because I can't do it. Ever since she discovered she was a mutant, which is one of the stupidest story arcs ever. I mean, how long has this character been around? What Bancroft said, 10 years? And when did they just decide that she was a mutant? Kamala Khan has been balancing her previous life as Miss Marvel with a role as a leader in the new community, but her conflicted identity has come at a deep personal cost, continues the series Solicit. Now pulled into the distant past by an unhinged villain with deep ties to the mutant history, Miss Marvel will witness the iconic birth of the uncanny X-Men in their first encounter with Krakoa for an all-new, all-different perspective. Oh, look at that. All new, all different. But when history begins to change, can either Kamala Khan, I keep wanting to say Harris, it's just, or X-Men themselves survive the experience? Consisting of 5 issues total. Each entry in the giant size X-Men event will also feature an anthology of back-to-back stories, X-Men creators of the past, starting with the X-Men Red Volume #1 with Al Ewing, Scarlet Witch Volume 3, pairing of whom will work together to introduce the X-Man that never was. In other words, it looks like Kamala Khan will soon be considered an integral part of the X-Men's deep history. No hype teased Langzine and Kelly. Every issue of Giant X-Men Giant Size is here to blow your mind and break your heart. I doubt that. Mutant Kind is the grandest, most sprawling canvas in the Marvel canon. Moreover, it's the one hive mind. It's the one the hive mind has been arguing and geeking out about since we were teenagers at our local comic shops. Now, alongside the absolute legend Adam Kubert, and that is true. That's 100% true. He is a legend. And 3 more of the best artists in the industry were posed to completely wreck and reassemble the history of the X with our favorite hero. Whose? Theirs, not ours. Kamala Khan for the front and center. It's an honor, a joy, a huge responsibility. Yeah, and that's it. So, giant size X-Men, giant size Dark Phoenix, giant size Age of Apocalypse, giant size House of M, giant size X-Men 2 are the events here coming up, which nobody's going to buy. This is going to be something that they force the LCSs to get, and nobody's going to buy it. Nobody. I think horrible idea. It's what did it say? Was it Gooch? His show the other day where he said that Marvel is really out of ideas, and it's shit like this that really there's the proof. Give the audience something they don't like, and watch them not buy the book. Seems simple. Got Edwin in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Jay Blue. Hey, Joe, Marvel is just trying to piss everybody off. They're doing a good job. And I don't know why they haven't learned yet. It's staggering to me that they keep doing the same thing. She's an inhuman, not a mutant. See, that's what I thought. So when did they retcon her to be a mutant? I know that the TV series that came out, was it last year? I think it was last year. They kind of try to reveal in that, I think I heard. I never watched the series, so I don't know. But I heard that they made her a mutant in that series. So essentially now she's the first mutant in the MCU. They're pushing the character hard, her and Captain Marvel, apparently. And it's not going to work. It's going to hurt the LCSs. Nobody's going to buy this book. And it's just going to be another failed... The all new, all different stuff that I read in the article. I mean, that verbiage didn't work the first time. So why try to do it now? There's another X-Men title, or in the X-Men, they're introducing some new X-Men with an all new, all different kind of feel, and they're using that verbiage with that too. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. I don't know. Some of the designs actually look cool, so that might have some intrigue. You know, I like the artist on the book with Netho Diaz, but I don't get it. People don't learn, which is disappointing because I feel like we are in a stage of correction with a lot of things, especially with the current politics in America, the current pushback on the woke. They're going to jack the X-Men up in the comics so they can screw the movies up and bitch about it being canon, like the Captain better. Yeah, I mean, probably. It's probably what's going to happen. So, let's see. They moved over to being a mutant because the X-Men are more popular than the Inhumans. She hasn't stuck to anything well, and yet, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. It's exactly the opposite way a story is told. No, it is. That's a great point. That's why I don't think a lot of these people actually know how to tell a story. To be honest with you. And they kind of show that every single time they put stuff out. Like, people don't know how to tell a story. Whose show was it? I was on MSK's show, I want to say on Tuesday. And I think we got in this discussion a little bit. We talked about the writing in comics today. And I'd brought up the point that in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, a lot of the writers and artists and creators of comics came up being fans of comics, right? So when they came up and got to work on their dream titles, when someone that grew up loving the X-Men got to be the writer of X-Men or the artist of X-Men, they wanted to continue that that rich history, right? They knew what the characters were supposed to be, what the story was supposed to be, and they took that and they went forward, making it better, right? Not changing it, adding on to it, and making it better. And at some point, somewhere around the 2000s, early 2000s maybe, somewhere in there, people started creeping into comics that weren't necessarily fans of what they were doing, right? It was a stepping stone to get to other things, right? Like if you want to be a writer in Hollywood, you want to write for movies or TV series, you could jump into comics for a little bit and see, you like, look at the story I wrote here and this or that. But they weren't fans of the comic book characters of the comic book industry. And slowly, the people that loved the comics, I don't want to say died out because they're still around, but they were just kind of phased out. They were pushed out. And you stopped getting these rich stories, the building on history, developing of these characters, and really leaning into what the audience wanted. Now, what was great about the 80s and 90s, writers like Claremont and even like Peter David and guys of that ilk would listen to fans, right? Because you would have all the letter pages. You guys remember in the old comics, the letter pages, they'd publish them, they'd read them. And they would actually have people reading these letters, and they would be like, okay, this character is resonating with the audience, or this, the storyline was very popular with the audience. Like, this is what the audience wants. We're going to give them more of that, right? The connection between the comics and the readers was so much better back in the day because they just wanted to give you something that you wanted, right? Because they were telling stuff that they loved. Nowadays, it's just like, we're going to just tell you what we want. And if you guys don't like it, I guess that sucks because they're not making money off of comics. They make all their monies from something else, right? All the other companies that own them, they're getting their paychecks from. So it doesn't matter if these comics really hit, if they make a lot of money or not. They'll just reboot something in a few years with another number one. They'll get the collectors to come out, spend the money on that number one, and they'll do it all over again. And in that aspect, the comic book, scene, it has no more soul when it comes to the creators. And it's depressing. I do feel like we are in an era of pushback, correction. I hope that continues. I've seen a little bit of it, not enough, and I hope that continues. But stuff like this, it's really disappointing. It's 2015 all over again. It definitely seems like that. Timescale says, Joe, you rock, man. This is really good. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm glad that you liked it. This will be the new time for the Ronin Joe Show. Every Sunday at 10 p.m. going forward, we will be here now that Sean, my co-host and Odd and Stuff, is back, and we have Odd and Stuff returning to Thursdays at 8. So the Ronin Joe Show will be here. It's just me shooting the shit with the chat, which I do love doing. Rick Saylor, member of the channel, says, now that the free money is going to be stopped, hopefully we will be seeing a change in things. Companies normally don't keep making losses after losses if not being secretly compensated. That's a great point. That's a great point, because I wonder how that's all going to pan out with Doge cracking down on a lot of stuff. Be interesting. Dennis Kelly says December 31st, 2009 was the beginning of the ooze that is Disney started seeping into the Marvel comic. Okay, yeah. So it was a little bit later than I thought. I thought it was early 2000s, but you're right. Like right around there. Yeah, right about the time they bought Marvel. When did they buy Lucas? Was it a similar time? Was it before or after? I can't remember. But yes, right around there is when things really started to change. I mean, you saw it in the stories. And not that I was ever a great reader of comics. You guys know that. The whole trope of, I can't read. I just didn't like to read. And I especially didn't like to read when the stories started getting just retarded. I go into that. I'll keep rambling about that. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's what I love about you. Sheldon Martin says exactly. Now the fans are toxic. They're ignorant if they disagree with the stories. Yeah. They were able to really take that and project that on us, right? Projection. A lot of these people, they do projection very well. You notice that? Joe Nails Sunday night. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I knew what you meant, man. Look, I'm dyslexic and I have a hard time reading in general. So when you mess up, it actually makes sense to me. So I can actually be like, of course you meant Marvel. Bancroft said, these will be the last desperate push of the DEI rubbish. Good point. We will take a couple of years to filter through all mediums. Brother, I hope you're right. And I do believe that that's the way it's going to be as well. So I do feel like we're, okay, whatever side of politics you fall on is what you fall on. You do what you do in life. But I do guarantee that there was a portion of people that really thought that Kamala Harris was going to win the presidency and that we were going to continue on with a lot of the status quo, woke DEI stuff, right? And I think we were seeing a little bit of that still playing out. Like it was a surprise to them, right? That the American public was kind of pushing back on that. We didn't want it anymore. You know, we have been hitting on this for so long. And now we're getting to this pushback area, but we are getting this bleed over, right? Where you're still seeing some of the stuff filter through into our entertainment. And maybe it will. Maybe it will take a year. Maybe it will take 2 years to really get through. But I think we'll get through it. Don't go politics, man. Just saying. Well, this show, I'll just say, my other shows are comic book centric. This show is going to be one of those things where anything and everything, right? I'm a little bit more safe when it comes to Aqua, Ott and stuff, Spawn review. I mean, that's comic book stuff, right? The Ronin Joe show, this is my show as far as just what I want to talk about. And sometimes I'll talk about politics, but I'm going to do it in a way that, again, I'm not going to try to sit here and bash anybody over what they believe in politics because we all believe different things, right? And I think that's fine. I think that's great. That's what makes us Americans, you know. And I can sit here and I can disagree with you, and we can be friends. And you can disagree with me, and hopefully we can be friends. It's just opinions, right? And I've said this before. I get into fights with people on X all the time. I'm like, it's just all opinions, man. You can't let words and opinions hurt. You know, you just can't. There's no way to live. No way to live. Yeah, the DI shit needed to go away a long time ago. I agree, man. I agree. Disney has to be getting government money. They've lost billions and keep going like nothing's happening. Yeah, you never know, man. It takes years for it to go away. This shit's been slowly ramping up for over 40 years. Hopefully faster. Hopefully it goes faster than we think. Let's talk, dude. Now, I've said this before. The more we go on with the show, yes, I'm doing some of the pop culture stuff here, comic book talk, movie talk, or whatever. I will be getting into doing some conspiracy talk. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. Pyramids, aliens, you know, a lot of stuff. Illuminati, reptilians. I'll get into it at some point. I just have to feel out how the audience is willing to be able to take things. You know, I can't hit you guys too fast with stuff. I'm trying to ease in with some things, but you're going to talk about some stuff I don't normally talk about in any of the other shows right here on the Ronin Joe show. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I just want entertainment to be entertaining. I think we all do. 100%. Exactly. We can disagree and still chill. 1,000%, man. Hot Wheels. Probably not Hot Wheels. Bordeaux's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, the DEI shit started under Reagan. Did it really? Interesting. I'll have to see the evidence for that, but I'm willing to talk about it. Yeah, buddy. Fake as the moon landing. The moon landing was fake. You cannot convince me unless you find the original footage, the original clear footage. Not the shit that they rebroadcast through the TV, and we got all that grainy black and white stuff. Nah, you're not going to convince me of that. Moon landing, no. I don't think we've been to the moon. It's just me. Convince me otherwise. Conspiracy, I'm for it. Oh, we'll get into it, man. We'll definitely get into some conspiracy talk. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to talk about. Totally all that. Just don't talk about ghosts because I've never shut up. Okay. We'll talk about some ghosts too. I'll start working. Okay. If you guys are going to join me every Sunday at 10 p.m. on the Ronin Joe show, I will try to work into the segments, some more conspiracy, if that's what you want to call it, esque talk, and we'll get into some stuff. And if you guys have anything you want to address or want me to talk about, let me know in the comments below after the show is done, and I will look into certain stuff because, dude, I will get in. I'll talk about flat Earth. I don't care. I don't care about nothing. Bothers me, right? I'm not afraid to talk about anything. I'll talk about religion, politics, conspiracies, flat Earth, pop culture, comics. I'm not really afraid to talk about anything as far as pushback or whatever, because the way I look at the world, I like to think. I like to imagine what can be, it doesn't have to be real, doesn't even have to be provable, but is it interesting to think about? If it's interesting to think about, I want to talk about it, because why not? Why be afraid to not talk about certain things? I don't get that about anybody. Hitler's book burnings weren't Bibles. He burned a lot of books. Looked for a lot of cult stuff too. Didn't you know apparently having a lukewarm opinion on X equals you're an ingrate troll? 100%. Yeah, finding that out, finding that out quite a bit. And honestly, I don't give a fuck. Really. I said this before. I don't give a fuck what other people think. I care about what I think, And I'm going to say what I think. And if people don't like it, go fuck themselves. I don't really care. I don't really care if you get offended along the way. I'm going to say things based on truth and reality. I'm not going to get sucked into dogmatic shit or fake loyalty tests or anything like that. I'm cool with everybody. I don't talk shit, but at the same point, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Project Bluebeam. Yes. Dude, see now, yeah, bring it on. Let's go. Project High Jump. Project Paperclip. Let's talk about it. Joe and I might be at different political parties, but we love the same stuff, and I respect that as an American. Yes, I agree. You and I, brother, I agree that. Shared values of what should matter, not shared politics. 100%. 100%. Or if people were offered my opinion and stances, can go fuck themselves. Right. If people are offended by my opinions and stances, they can go fuck themselves. Yeah, exactly. 100%. If you can't do that, if you can't be mature enough to understand that we're not all going to agree or think alike or do the same things, then I don't know how to help you and all that. Sorry about that. Sorry about your luck. All right, everybody. We are going to jump out of here. I believe the Gooch is on. Please stay in the chat. Go over there. If you do go over there, tell them that this is the Ronin Joe raid. And tell them to check out Ronin Joe next week, next Sunday at 10 p.m. I will say this because I love you guys. Thank you for making this an enjoyable show and giving me the freedom to jump into some other topics next Sunday. So hit me up in the comments below. I will try to jump into things. We'll bring some stuff up. We'll ease it in. We'll ease it in like a gentleman to everybody out there. But until then, everybody, I'm Ronin Joe. Be good to each other. Take care of one another. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to you later. Peace.